We are often taught that the world is a place of reason and fairness, that if you work hard and treat people well, you will succeed. That is a comfortable lie. The reality is much harsher. Human society, from the stressful office environment to the seemingly closest relationships, is not a civilized playground. It is a jungle. And in that jungle, there are always predators. They don't have fangs or frightening features. They wear sharp suits, say all the right things, and smile at you every morning. They are masters of psychological manipulation. We call them the Dark Triad. These are not characters in a movie. They are your colleagues, your superiors, and sometimes the people you trust. They exist, and if you don't recognize them, you will forever be the prey. The Dark Triad is a psychological term referring to three malicious, yet often overlapping, personality traits. First is the Narcissist, who loves only themselves. Second is the Machiavellian, who sees others as tools. And third, the most frightening, is the Psychopath, who lacks any empathy at all. You don't need to be a psychologist to identify them. You just need to observe. Let's start with the Narcissist. This is the most common type you will encounter in the workplace. They don't just love themselves. They are an emotional black hole. The first and most obvious sign is superficial charm. When you first meet them, the Narcissist is the most wonderful person in the world. They are smart, funny, talented, and they give you their undivided attention. This isn't kindness. It's a tactic. They are love-bombing you. They flatter you, making you feel special. But it's all a trap. The Narcissist needs something called narcissistic supply. That is, your admiration, your attention, your validation. You are not their friend. You are their mirror. As long as you reflect the image they want to see, a grandiose, perfect image, you have value. But the problem with the Narcissist is, behind that glamorous facade is an ego as fragile as glass. They cannot accept criticism, no matter how small. If you dare to mention a promise they forgot, they will look you straight in the eye and say, "I never said that." Are you imagining things? You're being too sensitive. They lie so smoothly that you yourself begin to wonder if you are actually crazy. They make you doubt your own reality. They will deny what they did, even when there is proof. Their goal is to make you disoriented, to make you lose confidence in yourself. When you are weakened, you are easier to control. Remember, with a Narcissist, everything is about them. They will not hesitate to tear you down to build themselves up. If the Narcissist needs you to admire them, the second type, the Machiavellian, is completely different. The Machiavellian doesn't care what you think of them. They only care if you are useful. They are named after Machiavelli, and they live by that philosophy. For them, the ends justify the means. You are not a person. You are a pawn on their chessboard. The Machiavellian is a cold strategist. They calculate everything. Every relationship is a transaction. They are always asking, what can I get from this person? They are terrifyingly pragmatic. They are not ruled by emotion. They can fake empathy, pretend to be your best friend, but inside, they are completely empty. Unlike the Narcissist who loves to show off, the Machiavellian prefers to operate in the shadows. They are masters of divide and conquer. They will never confront you directly. Instead, they will call you into their office and say, "I really value you, but I heard is trying to take your project." They say this with the most concerned expression. Immediately after, they meet within and say, "You need to be careful. I think the other person is trying to push you out." What's the result? While you and N are busy being wary of each other, the Machiavellian has quietly reported to the boss that the project is at risk due to internal conflict, and only they can step in to solve it. They start the fire and then take credit for putting it out. That's how they play. They spread rumors, create suspicion. While everyone is busy fighting each other, no one notices the Machiavellian quietly moving towards their goal. Finally, we have the Psychopath. This is the pinnacle of danger. If the Narcissist lacks empathy for others, and the Machiavellian scorns morality, the Psychopath lacks both. They are completely incapable of feeling empathy or remorse. The core difference is this: the Narcissist needs your admiration. The Machiavellian needs you to be useful for their goals. But the Psychopaths need nothing from you. They simply do not care. They are the shark swimming in the office. They don't hate you, just as a shark doesn't hate its prey. It's just instinct. They can be charming like the Narcissist, calculating like the Machiavellian, but they lack the brakes that normal people have. They do not fear social consequences. They might destroy your career, not because they hate you, but just to see what happens. They are the director who lays off 500 people right before the holidays via an email, and then goes to a steak lunch as if nothing happened. They don't lose sleep. They feel no guilt. They just see a number on a balance sheet. It is a complete emotional void. Recognizing the Dark Triad isn't meant to make you paranoid or lose faith in humanity. It is the first and mandatory step for survival. You cannot win a game if you don't know its rules. And sadly, these are the people writing the rules in the modern jungle. We live in a world that demands vigilance. You must see through the facade. You must understand how they operate. The first step is to see them. The next step is to learn how to navigate their shadows. Because when you realize you are in a jungle, you stop acting like prey. Once you have seen through the jungle and identified the predators, an urgent question arises. I know who they are. So what do I do now? The natural instinct of a good person is to expose the truth. They want to report the Machiavellian to management, unmask the narcissist in a meeting, warn everyone about the psychopath. This is a fatal mistake. That is exactly what prey does when it panics. It screams, and it attracts the predator's attention. You cannot use conventional moral rules against those who have no morals. Trying to play fair with someone who plays dirty is to voluntarily accept defeat. This is the harshest paradox. To protect good values, to protect your career, to protect your sanity, good people must learn to use the weapons of the bad. They must borrow Machiavelli's strategies. This is not about becoming evil. This is about becoming smart. This is the art of self-defense in psychological warfare. The first and most important principle: never directly attack their ego. Especially the Narcissists and the Machiavellian. They build their entire lives on a false image of perfection and power. If you publicly challenge that, you are not just embarrassing them. You are threatening their very existence, and they will use every resource to destroy you. Never make yourself an obvious target. Good people often think the truth will protect them. The truth protects no one. The manipulator controls the narrative, and in most cases, their story is more compelling than your truth. Instead of confrontation, learn the second weapon: calculated indifference. The narcissist lives on supply. They need your reaction, whether it's admiration or fear. They need to know they affect you. When they try to provoke you, when they spread rumors, when they try to gaslight you, the strongest response is no response. This is not the passive silence of fear. This is the active silence of power. Answer them with short, boring, and emotionless replies. Thank you for sharing. I'll take note of that. I understand your indifference is poison to their ego. It disarms them because they cannot control someone they cannot move. The third weapon is to mirror their exact tactics, but for evidence gathering. Never trust words. Only trust actions and text. The Machiavellian is a master of vague verbal exchanges in the hallway. Let's just proceed with Project A. 3 weeks later, when Project A fails, they will say in front of leadership, "I warned about this risk, but he insisted on doing it, and you have nothing to prove otherwise." From now on, become the most meticulous note. After every meeting, every important conversation, send a summary email. Hi name, just to confirm our discussion. As I understand it, you want me to prioritize Project A and pause Project B. Please confirm if anything is incorrect. This email is not for clarification. It is to create an undeniable paper trail. It forces the Machiavellian to publicly agree or disagree. They hate these. They hate clarity. They thrive in the gray area. By turning on the lights, you neutralize their shadows. Archive everything. Turn your inbox into an arsenal. This isn't pettiness. This is strategic preparation. The fourth and most sophisticated weapon. Learn to conceal your intentions. Good people have a dangerous habit. They are too honest. They share their plans, their fears, and their goals with anyone who will listen. They believe transparency builds trust. In an ideal environment, that is true. But in this jungle, transparency is a fatal weakness. When you reveal your intentions, you are giving the Machiavellian a detailed map of how to take you down. They know what you want, what you fear, and who your allies are. You must learn to be unreadable. Practice this. When the Machiavellian or Narcissist asks what you think of their new project, they are probing. They want to know if you are an ally or an enemy. Don't say "I hate it," you instantly become a target. Don't say "I love it," you will be used to support them. Instead, give a perfectly neutral, procedural, and bland answer. Say, "It's an interesting proposal. I'll need to review more data on its feasibility." Or, "I'm currently focused on the performance metrics. I will look at it when I have time." You are not lying. You are not telling the truth. You are using the language of bureaucracy. This language is boring, emotionless, and most importantly, it gives them nothing to hold on to. Let them think you are simple and just follow procedures while you are silently observing. Machiavelli said, "Most men see you as you appear. Few know who you really are. Make your appearance boring." This leads us to the final weapon. Build alliances wisely. The Machiavellian operates by isolating you. They divide and conquer. You must do the opposite. You must unite to defend. But do not do this naively. Do not run to another colleague and say, "Our boss is a psychopath." You don't know who that person is truly loyal to. Instead, build relationships based on competence and usefulness. Help other colleagues without expecting anything in return. Share your expertise. Become the person they trust professionally. Do not speak ill of anyone. Just build your reputation as reliable and competent. When you have enough silent Alice people who respect you for your work, the Machiavellian's power is weakened. They can try to take you down, but they will meet resistance. They cannot isolate someone who is already quietly connected to the network. Your strength is not in confrontation. Your strength is in the value you create and the solid professional relationships you build in silence. Using these strategies does not make you a bad person. It makes you an armed, good person. You are no longer prey. You are a protector. You are fighting fire with fire, not to burn down the jungle, but to create a firebreak. Protecting your job, your sanity, and perhaps protecting other good people who are still naive. You are learning to move in the darkness, so that one day you can bring back the light. Defense is about survival, but you don't just want to survive. You want to win. The weapons you learned for self-defense were just the beginning. It is time to shift from defense to mastery. The difference between armed prey and a true predator lies in one word: intent. Prey reacts. Predators act. From now on, everything you do must be deliberate. You learned to move in the shadows. Now it's time to learn how to turn the shadows to your advantage. This is the art of silent power. It is not loud, it is not flashy, it is nearly invisible, and that is precisely what makes it invincible. The foundation of this power is the concealment of intention. At the defensive level, you conceal your intentions to avoid becoming a target. At the mastery level, you conceal your intentions to make others fill in the blanks in a way that benefits you. Let's call this the art of calculated ambiguity. Humans are meaning-making machines. We cannot stand uncertainty. When faced with an information vacuum, our brains automatically fill it with our own assumptions, fears, or hopes. The narcissist fills that vacuum with boasting. The Machiavellian fills it with deliberate lies. But you will fill it with nothing at all. When a colleague or superior probes you, what do you think of the new restructuring plan? They are looking for information to see if you are an ally or an enemy. Don't say "I hate it." You become a target. Don't say "I like it." You are exploited. Use absolute ambiguity. Reply, "I am considering its implications," or "It's a complex topic." This answer is a blank screen. It forces them to reveal their intentions. They will often follow up with, "Yes, I'm also worried about X." And instantly, you know what they are thinking, while they know nothing about you. You are not lying. You are making them tell the truth to themselves. Practice this in meetings. When everyone is arguing loudly, be silent. When a difficult question is asked, do not rush to answer. Hold the silence. Look directly at the questioner. Let the silence stretch for 1 or 2 seconds longer than is comfortable. What happens? The questioner, or someone else in the room, will not be able to stand the pressure of that vacuum. They will start talking. They will answer the question themselves, or they will rephrase it. And in the process, they inadvertently reveal their true motives. They think you are deep in thought. In reality, you are giving them enough rope to hang themselves. This is power. You expend zero energy, yet you completely control the rhythm of the room. Combine calculated ambiguity with the next weapon, selective disclosure. You are not a silent wall. You are an information manager. You understand that information is currency, and you never give it away for free. Most people leak information like a faulty faucet. They talk about their weekend, their personal problems, the project they're working on. Not you. Every piece of information you release has a purpose. You offer small, curated pieces of information to build a specific image. You want them to think you are trustworthy. You will accidentally let slip a small detail that shows your loyalty. You want them to think you are competent. You will share one, and only one, deep insight into a complex problem. You do not brag like the narcissists. You plant seeds. You let your reputation grow in the minds of others. Meanwhile, 90% of your true knowledge and plans remain safely in the shadows. The Machiavellian tries to build an image with words. You build your image with the absence of words. But the ultimate weapon is to turn your competence into a psychological tool. You don't actually need to be the best. You just need to be perceived as indispensable. This is where you surpass the Dark Triad. The Machiavellian is busy with schemes. The Narcissist is busy bragging. Their power is fragile because it is based on deception. Yours is not. Use selective disclosure to plant seeds of your competence. During a crisis, when everyone is panicking, offer a single, complex solution to a part of the problem that only you know. A solution no one else thought of. Then, go silent. Do not take credit. Do not explain how you did it, unless foresaid. Let them conclude that all of your knowledge is that deep and mysterious. The narcissist needs to boast about 100 things they did. You only need to prove yourself once, and let your silence amplify the other 99. This is the ultimate combination. Psychologically, you are a gray man. You are unpredictable, unreadable. You reveal nothing. But professionally, you are a black box. A complex system they don't fully understand, but one that is absolutely essential to their operation. They may not like you, they may fear you, but they will have to respect you, and they will have to depend on you. This is not the flashy power of a king. This is the solid power of a kingmaker. Do not seek attention. Seek influence. Do not seek credit. Seek results. This is the path of the master of the game. You have become the kingmaker. You are unpredictable. You are valuable. And you control the chessboard from the shadows. This is a powerful position. But it has a weakness. It still depends on you. If you leave, your power vanishes. The narcissist's ego needs immediate attention. The Machiavellian's schemes require daily intervention. This level of mastery, too, still requires your constant presence. The final level of power is not being the best player. It is becoming the designer of the game. It is a system, a legacy, where your influence endures, even when you are completely absent. This is where we enter the art of permanence. The first and most powerful weapon to build it is the economy of favors. The Dark Triad views the world through a lens of taking and transactions. The narcissist takes attention. The Machiavellian conducts transactions for profit. You will do the opposite. You give strategically. This is not blind kindness. This is building a type of debt that is never spoken of. Call it the ledger of loyalty. The Machiavellian does a good deed and demands immediate repayment. You are different. You help others when no one is watching. You identify capable but underestimated people, those overshadowed by the loud narcissist. You accidentally put their name on an important project. You silently defend them in a meeting they don't even know about. You share credit for a good idea, even if most of it was yours. You do these things without ever demanding recognition. What happens? You do not create a transaction. You create a bond. Gratitude that is expressed publicly fades quickly. But silent gratitude for an unexpected favor takes deep root. You are cultivating loyalty. You don't need an army of mercenaries. You are building a Praetorian Guard. The second weapon is the architect of the fortress. The Machiavellian divides to rule. You will connect to dominate. But you don't just connect people to you. That is still self-centered thinking. You connect capable people to each other. You have identified the talented but isolated. Now, you act as the broker. You introduce A to B, saying, your combined expertise could solve problem. So you create a group. Launch and introduce a topic you know they will solve together. What are you doing? You're building a network. But unlike a normal network, you are not the center. You are the architect who designed it. You are creating a network of competence, a fortress of effective people. And when this network begins to operate, it will naturally see you as the founder, They may not be loyal to the company, but they are loyal to the network. You built a network that protects them from the incompetence and toxicity of the Dark Triad. Your power no longer lies just in yourself, but in the collective strength of those you have uplifted. This brings us to the ultimate weapon, the final test of power, the power of absence. Does the narcissist have power? Only if someone is listening to them. Does the Machiavellian have power? Only if there are people for them to manipulate. Their power requires constant presence. They must constantly suck the oxygen out of the room. True power is measured by what happens when you are not there. You have built a guard with favors. You have built a fortress with connections. Now it is time to spread your ideology. You do this by framing the narrative. While others argue about how to do a project, you are the one who defines why it matters in the first place. You talk about principles. You talk about long-term vision. You talk about standards. At first, it may seem like you are speaking in philosophies, but you repeat it, and because you have built credibility as an effective, non-narcissistic operator, your words have weight. Gradually, others in your network begin to use your language. They begin to evaluate decisions based on the principles you have set. And this is the magic moment. A meeting happens without you. A problem arises, and someone from your fortress speaks up. If we do it that way, it violates principle X. Your ideas are in the room, even when you are absent. You have won. The journey is complete. You began as prey, learning to identify the jungle. You became a defender, learning to use the enemy's weapons. You became the kingmaker, mastering the art of silence and indispensability. And finally, you became the architect. The Dark Triad is playing a finite game. They play to win the next meeting, to get the next promotion, to destroy the next rival. It is a game of exhaustion. You have chosen to play an infinite game. You don't play to win. You play to keep playing, to build something that lasts longer than you. True power is not controlling people. It is creating an ecosystem, an order, where the best things automatically emerge. You didn't just survive the jungle, you changed the jungle. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.